Hey guys, my name is Kate Vegan, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the most common weight loss mistakes that I made over like 5 or 6 years, and that I also see most people make. And I wish I could just tell them, watch this video, please listen to me. I made that mistake respectfully, and it cost me so much like negative emotions and time struggling. So I really think this video will be valuable to you if you're on your weight loss journey and you really want to start making progress and stop being confused, stop running in circles. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so I made this little presentation so I can visually show you, and so you could also take screenshots just in case you want to reference it for later and so you don't forget. So yeah, so 7 weight loss mistakes I made that most people make. This is my before and after. This is after I was already vegan for a couple years, and then I was eating like high carb, not enough protein so I was like overeating and holding on to more fat, and I didn't really have energy to go to the gym. So, and then in the right, that's me when I had my diet better, was eating enough protein, and started strength training. That's pretty much it. That's the blueprint. All right, so let's get into it. I'm sure that by the end of this video, you'll identify at least one thing you can improve on. We all have things to improve on, including me. So, yeah, what's there to lose by listening to these mistakes? And maybe we can course correct and not also remember to not feel bad about ourselves for making mistakes. You know, we're human. We make mistakes and we learn and we adjust. So, nothing to be shameful about making any mistakes or, struggling, it's natural. Okay, so yeah, this was me before I learned this. I was holding on to extra body fat, as you can see. I looked happy in these pictures, but honestly, deep down, I was struggling and I felt insecure. And that's no way to live. Like, we want to be proud of who we are and feel good in our bodies. So, yeah, that's why I'm showing you this so that you can also feel better in your body and genuinely feel joy and feel confident when taking pictures, feel confident at the beach, etc. And obviously so that you don't run into any health issues, because health is wealth, health is the most important thing. And then this is me after I learned this, these mistakes, and I'm more fit and confident. I have more muscle in my body, muscle toning. You could see my face is less puffy. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look better. A lot of people are like, oh, like looks aren't everything. They aren't everything, but they do affect how you feel about yourself, honestly. And whether we've realized it or not, like how we look does make us feel a certain way. And you want to, feel good naturally and sustainably, obviously. You don't want to like push yourself to extremes just to look good. Okay, so yeah, you got to listen up if you want to gain clarity and get results sooner. But okay, I'm going to stop stalling and let's just get into it. Mistake number one is not eating intentional meals. I know life can be so busy and we don't want to, spend time cooking. And sometimes it's just easier to eat a snack as a meal, like eat a ton of chips or eat cookies or eat a meal that is not balanced. That's what I used to do a lot. So now what I do is I am intentional with my meals. I form my meals with enough carbs, proteins, and fats, different nutrients like produce, fruits, veggies, and I eat 3 of them a day usually. But yeah, I'm just like more intentional with my meals and nutrition. So yeah, and this is what happens when you skip meals or eat snacks as meals. You undereat usually when you skip meals, and then you get hungry, right? And then you just eat so much and you feel like, oh, why did I do that? Or if you're eating a snack as a meal, it's usually not, snacks are usually not balanced like a meal. And they're usually more processed and not like whole foods, like, fruits and veggies, um, different proteins, so you need that in a meal. And that's what I would call it, like a real meal, like with whole food carbs, proteins, fats. And then, yeah, another thing is that most snacks are empty calories. So they kind of just give you fuel, which is good. Calories help give us energy, but it doesn't really like give us fiber too, and the nutrients we need, like, vitamins, minerals. So focus on having meals every day if you want to have good weight loss. Also, like, eating enough fiber helps fill you up. Fiber, protein, carbs for energy, fats for satisfaction. So it's like all of these nutrients have a role and they're important. So once I started learning about my nutrition, I realized that, I'm just giving my body what it needs. I'm not being like paranoid, oh, nutrition, wow, I'm doing too much. But no, it's like we just need to fuel our bodies. So that's mistake one. Mistake number two is not meal prepping. So meal prepping is when you prepare meals in advance. You could either batch make certain ingredients, like you make a big tub of rice and then you eat from that throughout the week, or you could like do what I did in this picture where you make a meal and then you portion it out for different serving sizes so you could eat it later throughout the week. And this is a mistake because if you're not meal prepping, you're not going to have food ready to go for the meals. Like when I say eat intentional meals, I don't mean every day make from scratch a meal because that can be hard and unsustainable. So the way that we make that sustainable is by meal prepping so that you already have the meals ready to go and you just heat them up and then you eat it. And obviously this isn't like you don't have to do this to lose weight because ultimately weight loss just comes down to a calorie deficit through eating less calories or moving more, but this can really help you. And it could be a mistake that's holding you back if you're not doing it. So, here are some more reasons why you should meal prep. You'll get more consistent nutrition. So, if you're preparing your meals ahead of time, you're probably going to be making a better choice for your meal. And then you'll make sure that you have enough, protein, fiber, etc. in your meal. Secondly, obviously, you save time. And then you don't have to choose what you're going to eat because you already made it ahead of time. So there's less time choosing what you should eat, and then you have more mental space to think about other things besides food. So yeah, it's just very beneficial, and I'm getting on the meal prep train. I know you got to take time to do it each week, but if you really just prioritize that and you just do it each week, you meal prep like 5-10 meals, or even just like breakfast. Like some of my clients just prep breakfast in the beginning, like they do overnight oats, and that just saves them time every day. Like think about it, each day that you make those oats is time that you could have saved if you made it in advance, and then you could have used that time to focus on lunch. So it's just like a ripple effect. The more meals you have prepped, the more energy you have to make better meal choices in the future. And then how do you do it? You just gotta cook either ingredients in big batches or you cook a whole recipe in a big batch and then you just put each portion in a container. And then you could also freeze it and then just reheat it. So it's as easy as eating a microwavable meal, except for you made it yourself and you know it's gonna help you reach your nutrition goals. Makes sense. Mistake number three is having no nutrition goals and not tracking. So by nutrition goals, I mean like eating a certain amount of calories so that you're in a calorie deficit, which is what leads to weight loss. So let's say your maintenance calories are 2,300 to maintain your current body weight. Now you have to eat less than that or burn less than that. So you have to be like the net should be a loss. Like you could continue eating that much and just add in the walking or exercise, or you could like eat less food, or you could do both, like eat less and move more. So that's what I'm saying is like it has to be a deficit from eating or moving more. So, and if you don't know if you're doing that or not, like you don't know if you're eating less and you don't know if you're moving more, then it's like, how do we know if you're going to lose weight when you're basically doing nothing different? So tracking is what helps you understand if you are actually eating less or moving more. Because you could also track your exercises, which equals to like certain calories. And yeah, this isn't as complicated as it might sound. It's pretty easy to set up. but it's just the initial setting up part. Um, so yeah, and also you wouldn't know if you're under eating. So a big thing that people do is they under eat one day like 900 calories, like because they're just not that hungry, and then they're just not consistent every day. And then so one day is 900 calories, the next day is like 2500, and then their body is just like going up and down, like their body's confused, like, are you feeding me or not? And then your body is like high stress, and then you just get cravings all the time. So I see that a lot. And when you track every day, you know, okay, am I hitting my nutrition goals? Am I giving my body what it needs today? Am I getting the vitamins, minerals, carbs, proteins, fats, all these things that my body really does need? So yeah, it's very beneficial, and it helps me prevent under eating for sure, because if I didn't track, I would be eating like 1,000 calories a day and I would have no energy to work out. So I use the app Chronometer to track my nutrition. It's free. There's also a paid option. Mistake number 4 is being sedentary. So it's easy to eat less and lose weight, but it's also not that good for your overall goal of feeling good and having muscle, because a lot of people want a muscular toned look, and when you're sedentary, it's really hard to achieve that, because physical activity is what helps you build muscle and have, feel good hormones. And you could also have a high metabolism, which makes you eat more. So it's easier to actually like move a little and eat a little less than it is to like just eat way less. So yeah, I would recommend walking, trying to do that daily. And I also do strength training 2 or 3 times a week. You could do more, it just depends on your goals. But also I have clients that do weighted YouTube workouts if they don't have access to a gym. So you'll also hold on to more muscle during fat loss. So when you're in a deficit, your body is losing fat, but it also can lose muscle depending on how big the calorie deficit is and depending on how much protein you're eating. So the protein and also the physical activity is what determines how much muscle you're going to lose during your fat loss. So strength training, walking, and eating protein will help you hold on to more muscle during fat loss. And then, yeah, it's just easily burning extra calories. Like you can go for a walk for like 1 hour, and that's like, depending on your body weight, it's like 100 to even 200 calories for some people. So that's easier to go on a 1 hour walk than sometimes for some people than eating less food. And then also, being sedentary increases your fat storage and increases disease risk. We don't want to be sedentary. So that's a mistake. And I used to think, oh, I don't want to work out, I'll just eat less. But it just doesn't feel as good that way. So we got to find what feels good for us and is sustainable and is also good for our bodies long term. Being sedentary is not good long term. Mistake number 5 is stressing your body out through, well, first of all, there's the mental side, which is like this whole being confused about weight loss side. But I'm mostly talking about like being hungry, like that picture I showed you. When you eat too little calories, you get hangry, right? And your body is just stressed and you have cravings and you like fantasize about different foods. Trust me, I know. I used to do that. And then plus, if you add over exercising on top of that, like going to the gym every day but not eating enough to replenish, you can get injured and you're eventually going to burn out. And yeah, what's the point of all this? Like, we just want to give our bodies what it needs to be healthy and to lose weight. Like, we don't need to do extreme weight loss like ASAP, because it's just going to backfire. Trust me, I know. um, and this can also hold your body hold on to fat since you're undernourishing it. So when your body doesn't know if it's going to get enough food from you, you unconsciously like move less. Like you're going to have just less energy to actually like do your work, go work out, and it's going to show. Like you're just going to seem tired all the time. And that's not the goal. The goal is to be, energetic, fit, happy, and have stable energy levels. And also, be able to build muscle. So yeah, we don't want to stress ourselves out. We want to work with our body, not against it. Mistake number 6 is choosing the wrong diet plan. I see this a lot in the plant-based community. A lot of plant-based people can be too low fat. I see that a lot is too low fat. They do a lot of carbs but not a lot of fat. And then some women can actually lose their period from maybe too low fat or too low calories. And it's just not good because we need a balance of carbs, protein, and fat for our bodies to work. Sorry, I had to burp. I don't usually burp, but yeah, too low carbs means that your energy, workouts, and mood tanks. Also, I know I'm talking fast, but that's because I'm passionate about this and I didn't drink caffeine. Just so you know. Because you might be like, wow, she's on caffeine, but I'm not. Um, I drink caffeine like maybe once a week at best. Um, Matcha. But yeah, I'm just passionate about this and I feel like this is a side note by the way. Like I haven't been making YouTube videos and I feel like I just want to give it my all when I actually finally do it. Anyways, so too low carbs mean I feel like everyone that's plant-based gets enough carbs, let's be honest, because carbs are the cheapest. Bread, fruits, beans, vegetables, everyone loves carbs, so I don't really have to touch on that too much. But I feel like the low protein and low fat is important in this plant-based community because a lot of vegans think, or plant-based people think, that protein can be enough if you just eat enough calories. But this isn't always the case for your goals. Like if you're trying to lose fat, eating more protein can, like I said, help you hold on to more muscle and help you get fuller. And also, when you have more muscle, your metabolism is higher. So, protein is beneficial for people that want to lose weight or people that want to build muscle because protein is the building blocks of muscle. Amino acids are the building blocks of muscle, and it just helps with the recovery. So, yeah. Um, so, we need to be mindful of our diet, balance of the macros, and obviously the micronutrients is like the fruits and vegetables and like supplements. So, and then that's pretty much your nutrition, is just having balanced nutrition, balanced macros, enough of the micros and supplements, and then you're good. We don't want to overcomplicate it. But I have another video coming out soon that's going to go more into depth onto how I actually form meals. So stay tuned for that and subscribe, please. Mistake number 7 is fasting. I was making this mistake for so long and it really did not help me at all. I I was the most angry and rude to my family just because my low mood and like low dopamine from not eating enough. Um, I really experienced that, and I don't want anyone to experience that. When you get a health coach, you should not be feeling like this is unsustainable for you. That's not how I work with my clients ever. Fasting is never really something um, I promote unless, that's just not my specialty. Some people find benefit in it. Maybe if you're experiencing a health condition or you have some, like, I just feel like you need extra discipline to do fasting. And honestly, if you do it wrong, it can, spike cortisol, increase your fat storage, increase cravings, and lower your metabolism if you're eating less. So, yeah, we want to work with the body, and usually fasting is like telling your body no when you're hungry. And for me, I'm just like, yeah, when we're hungry, we want to figure out like, why are we hungry? Obviously, you didn't eat enough calories, but how could we increase the satiation from your meals? So that's kind of my approach with being hungry, is you want to eat when you're hungry, and usually it's because you just haven't eaten enough calories and you should just eat. Um, so yeah, that's why I recommend eat 3+ times a day for stable energy levels and preventing cravings, because the cravings is usually a sign that you just haven't eaten enough. Here are some other contributors of having trouble losing weight, which is stress, high cortisol, lifestyle, busy lifestyle, which a lot of us experience, and then also poor sleep, depending on like your family, on your lifestyle, your job. So that can increase the cravings, water retention, fat storage. That's also something that I work on with my clients, is reducing stress and figuring out how can we minimize stress and work with our own mind to reduce stress and also like change things in our lives. But yeah, and then hormones. Hormones can also make fat loss harder, like hypothyroidism, insulin resistance, recently giving birth, PCOS. Um, and for hormones, generally, I would say I'm not a specialist on these conditions, but I basically just recommend a plant-based diet, which is limited in saturated fat, trans fat, fried food, refined sugar, because those things can be bad for our hormones, and also just reducing exposure to environmental toxins, I think those can hurt your hormones too. But if you're on a balanced plant-based diet, I think that really can help with your hormones. So that's my tip on that. So it's ultimately the solution is to have consistency with a calorie deficit. And how do you do that? You track, also sustainable exercise routine with that, to feel good, and obviously a plant-based diet to help your hormones, and also just because it's the best diet for reducing your number one cause of death, heart disease, and other diseases like cancer, certain cancers. And if you are serious about changing your life and losing the weight permanently, losing fat permanently, and then feeling the best you ever have in your body, having the most energy you ever have, I really recommend working with a coach so that you can actually follow through and implement this information that I shared with you in this video. And luckily for you, I know a coach, me, Kate Vegan. So if you are interested in working with me, let me see. You can click the link in the description of this YouTube video to apply for one-on-one coaching. And it's just a couple questions. And then once I review them and make sure you're not a bot, we will schedule a call and we'll just talk about your goals. And I'll get to know you a little bit. So yeah, that's my presentation. Let me finish the rest of the video. That's it for today. I hope you guys gained something from this video and you learned something. Please let me know if you're interested in coaching. I really recommend you get a coach in general. And I hope you implement the things that I learned. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below, or if you think that I missed any mistakes, anything that helped you so that people reading the comments can learn from you. And I appreciate you guys for being here watching my videos. And please stay tuned and subscribe for more videos. Hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Have a good rest of your day.